Okay, we're here with Dante Orsini of iLand at Cisco Live to talk about the trends and challenges of cloud infrastructure. Dante, can you tell us briefly about your company?
Sure. So iLand's a global Cisco-powered enterprise cloud service provider, right? So we actually operate 5 data centers in the U.S., a couple over in the U.K., and one in Singapore. And we really focus on providing infrastructure as a service and disaster recovery as a service, mostly for regulated industries. But we do a lot of work with ISVs, software vendors.
Okay. What are the products offered by iLand, and what is the value added to your customers?
So for us, we started years ago in the cloud space before people were talking cloud, right?
Right.
And when virtualization was gaining a lot of traction, and the key back then was to really understand how people were trying to really lighten the load on IT. And
right.
It hasn't changed too much, right? But when you talk about your traditional mode 1 applications, we really were focusing on high availability, fault tolerance, and then we start to shift and pivot to boarded cloud applications. You're seeing a lot of people look at how can they actually scale an application and do it all programmatically, right? And so along that journey, we wanted to make sure that we listened to customers. And one of the biggest things that we saw is that a lot of people felt like if they moved to a cloud environment, that they lost visibility into the performance of the environment. They simply felt like they lost control, right? The other big challenge was that they would actually see that it was very hard to understand cost. Cloud pricing models can get pretty complex.
Yes, they're tricky.
Yeah, exactly. I think the other thing here is that, as you might imagine, security is actually a huge concern for anybody that's looking to host something externally. So 4 years ago, we focused on building a platform that would provide very, very rich visibility into performance and simplify the cost models, and also provide people with integrated security, which is critical because this day and age, the complexity of threats are just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And a lot of folks feel like they can throw technology at security, right, at that challenge, but really don't understand how to manage it. So we're taking that burden, we're integrating all those technologies. We've curated the best of breed technologies on the show floor here. We've actually integrated them all via API, so it just simply works for a customer.
Oh, okay. What are the main issues you see companies struggling with when it comes to cloud infrastructure and disaster recovery?
So I think, again, those big challenges, come back to understanding, how an application is going to perform, being able to understand how they can look at scaling that application, right, and how that affects cost. And at the same time, being able to try to understand, are they truly secure? These are big challenges that people face in their own data centers today, right? So from our perspective, we wanted to, again, integrate these technologies and make it very simple for a customer to consume and actually focus on what's important to them, and that's the actual application, not the underlying infrastructure, not the security. And I think the other piece here is that we're very, very big on transparency, right? So to be able to provide people with complete visibility and control is very critical. But also at the same time, a lot of these things run hand in hand with compliance.
Right.
So it's one thing to say that you're secure, but it's another thing to prove it.
Right.
So over the last year, we've integrated a lot of advanced security technologies to make it very simple for people that not only know that they're secure, but to be able to prove it to an auditor.
Okay.
And that's really saving people a lot of time. Again, a lot of them focused on scaling the business.
What do you think the future is of cloud and disaster recovery as a service?
So disaster recovery as a service is probably what we're best known for, right? We've been in that space for the last 10 years. We use a lot of very significant enabling technologies. A couple of those for both backup and disaster recovery are Veeam. You may have heard of Veeam.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Also Zerto. And we've had a phenomenal year with them. This is actually the first year they've ever recognized a cloud provider. So we actually were awarded Cloud Provider Partner of the Year for both those companies. And for us, we're actually starting to see convergence between what people are doing with infrastructure as a service and disaster recovery, in the sense that a lot of people are starting to get away from building their own data centers for disaster recovery, right? They're starting to look to cloud for that, but at the same time, they're also looking out a couple of years and really doing due diligence on the cloud provider, because they want to understand, if I make a capital investment today and I'm replicating that environment to iLand's cloud for disaster recovery purposes, I don't want to make that same capital investment a year or two from now.
Right.
I want to make sure that when I do actually fail over, that I stay there for certain applications, maybe not everything.
Right.
The other piece that's really critical that we're seeing a lot of right now is a lot of people, again, very difficult time trying to answer the question, how secure am I? a lot of technologies in the security space can be very intrusive on a production environment, right? So you can cause a lot of harm actually doing penetration tests and things of that nature. So we're seeing people leverage us for disaster recovery, but at the same time, the integrated security that we have on our platform allows them to do DR tests very quickly at the click of a button at any time. They don't have to schedule it. They have complete control. But they're also seeing that they can run all these vulnerability scans and actually run tests on that infrastructure in the DR state. And if they find any challenges, then they actually have an opportunity to remediate into the production environment.
Okay.
This is a trend that we're starting to see. Actually, Gartner, John Morency, spoke at ZertoCon about this, and he actually recognized this in his keynote. It's something that we've been working very closely with customers on.
Okay. What is your strategy when it comes to finding customers for your products?
Well, I think for us, what we're trying to do is as much education as we can, and I think that's the name of the game for everybody in this space, right? And I think that we've always tried to work very closely with our strategic partners like Cisco, like VMware, Zerto, and Veeam, to both educate them on what we're doing as well as their channel partners. And we're finding that channel partners are really starting to drive these cloud conversations, right? And making sure that we're aligning ourselves with the right partners is critical to us. We actually established a relationship this year with Bond Communications, a great company that's got a huge focus on partner enablement in this space, and we're looking forward to a very, very big year together.
Okay. Hey, this is the last question. Can you talk about any new features or product updates that might be coming out in the near future?
I might get shot if I tell you, but I will tell you that there's a lot going on in the space, right?
Yeah.
For us, again, focusing on those key pillars, right? Security, compliance, being able to provide much better visibility and really ease of use for customers, very big. But I think the part that is already public for us that you'll see a lot more traction on is last year we actually took everything that we do and we made it all available via REST. We've also released a couple SDKs, one for Java, one for Python, one for Golang, and you're going to see us do a lot more with Cisco's DevNet community. So it's a big, big year ahead.
All right. Well, Dante, thank you very much.
Thank
Dante
you.
from